Ji, Assalamu alaikum. I hope everyone can hear me, hear my voice. Um, आज का जो सेशन है इट इज़ अबाउट स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस और मेरा नाम जीशान वकास चौधरी है. सो लेट्स बिगिन. दिस इज़ अबाउट मी. नाम मैंने अपना ऑलरेडी बता दिया है. I'm जीशान वकास चौधरी. मेरा अंडरग्रेड इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग में था यूटी लाहौर से. सेशन ऑफ 08 टू 2012. उसके बाद आई सर्व्ड एज एन एसटीओ इन लाहौर इलेक्ट्रिक सप्लाई कंपनी 2015 से 2018 तक. आई एम अ 2 टाइम सीएसएस क्वालिफायर. और 2017 की जो अटैम्प्ट थी उसके बाद आई जॉइंड एफपीआर इनलैंड रेवेन्यू सर्विस में. और आई बिन सर्विंग देयर सिंस 2020. फील्ड में 2020 में आया मैं. उसके दौरान में आई गॉट द फुल ब्राइट अवार्ड इन 2023. और 2 साल मैं यूएस में मिशिगन में यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ मिशिगन से मास्टर्स इन पब्लिक पॉलिसी ये मैंने वहाँ से अवेल किया. और मैं फिर वापस आया हूँ लास्ट ईयर मई में. आई जॉइंड माई सर्विस बैक इन अगस्त 2025. और आई हैव बीन टीचिंग. सीएसएस के जो एस्पायरेंट्स हैं उनको कुछ सब्जेक्ट्स भी मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ और जनरल कोचिंग भी देता हूँ उस हवाले से. और एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज़ में आई लव टू प्ले क्रिकेट. आई लव टू वॉच क्रिकेट एज वेल. कुछ वीडियो गेम्स हैं. लाइक टू वॉच मूवीज एज वेल. आई रीड. क्योरा जो है समझ ले मेरी डेली रीड होती है. एंड आई ऑल्सो रीड बुक्स. सो दिस इज़ ऑल अबाउट मी. व्हाट इज़ अ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ व्हाट इज़ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस. देखिए, हम बहुत सारे डिफरेंट वर्ड्स सुनते हैं. पर्सनल स्टेटमेंट भी सुनते हैं, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस भी सुनते हैं, स्टडी ऑब्जेक्टिव भी सुनते हैं. दीज आर ऑल डिफरेंट थिंग्स. तो अभी जब हम इन 3 चीज़ों पे ही बात करेंगे, लेकिन जो स्टार्ट में जिस चीज़ को मैं डिस्कस करूँगा यहाँ पे दैट इज़ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस. स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस इज़ लाइक अ शॉर्ट ऐसे जो कि एक्सप्लेन करता है हु यू आर प्रोफेशनली, इंटेलेक्चुअली, एकेडमिकली. ये चीज़ वो बताता है. व्हाट यू वांट टू डू. वंस अगेन आपने प्रोफेशनल रहना है इसके अंदर, एकेडमिक रहना है. एंड व्हाई यू वांट टू डू दिस. इसमें आपकी मोटिवेशन क्या है. तो अगर मुझे कोई वैसे ही इफ समवन आस्क्स मी व्हाट इज स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस, I'll say that statement of purpose is a short essay which tells the reader about me, that what I do academically and professionally, what I want to do in future with regards to my academics, and why I want to do this. What is the motivation behind it? And the most important part of it is why I want to do whatever I want to do. That is like the crux of your statement of purpose. The statement of purpose includes your academic background, your research, courses that you have studied, projects that you have worked on, your future plans, your motivation, why you and the target institution are a good fit. We'll talk about all of these in the next slides. So, what should the motivation for applying include? Like, as I have already mentioned, this is like the crux of your statement of purpose. Whenever you are asked to write a statement of purpose, keep in mind that this is the area which has like very different qualities. I say that because academic background is easy to describe. What you want to do in future is also easy to describe. These are like objective things with minimal subjectivity. For example, I am an engineer. I would say that my academic background is I have done bachelor's in electrical engineering. That's an objective thing. It's not a subjective thing. I cannot add like anything from myself. It's just the degree name I've mentioned it. Similarly, whatever I want to do, let's say I want to pursue a master's in mathematics. I'll just state that outright that I want to pursue master's in mathematics. Why I want to do this? This is the main part. This is where uh, everyone will be judged. Everyone's application and essay will be judged, that why this person wants to pursue a certain thing. Now, keep in mind that everyone who is applying there or anywhere in a university, in a grad program, um, will definitely have the requisite background education, will definitely want to pursue some specific degree. But why he wants to do it, your selection will be decided upon that. So it is like that important. So what should you include in this? Firstly, there should be a relation in whatever you want to study in future and what you have already studied in your past. There should be uh, a link between those. If there is not a link between those, let's say just like in my case, I shared my background with you. Let me go back to that slide, this one. My undergrad is in BSc Electrical Engineering, and what I studied afterwards was Masters in Public Policy. So why I want to do that? So I have to create a link. What this link would would show is that there is a connection between my current state and whatever I want to study in future. So if I uh, explain how I justified it, is that after graduating from the university, I studied for civil service. I didn't get allocation in my first attempt. I passed it though. But in order to avoid wasting any more time, I served in LESCO for 3 years. And once I started serving in LESCO, it was an engineering related job. It was also an administration related job. It also had something to do with the government. And later on, I passed my civil service exam. I got allocation. And during that, the link was established that once I have become part of the government, once I have the uh, the authority and the requisite domain to do something, then I can establish the link of it with public policy. Uh, okay, can you please share the recording? I am okay. Okay, all right. Um, so this recording, this presentation will be shared with you. Don't worry about that. This recording will also be uploaded, so don't worry about that as well. So whatever your academic background is, you have to justify why you are going to study what you're going to study now. Just like I have mentioned that there was a case of a switch case, that I was switching my academics from whatever I had studied in my past. You can justify it, but there should be right reasons for it. You cannot just say outrightly that I just wanted to do it. I mean, that is fine, but that won't get you selected for the program you are applying in. There should be relevant information related to your inspiration. What I mean by relevant information is that every case is unique. Every one of you is unique. All of us have different stories. All of us have different backgrounds. We are like the best version of ourselves. So we should know that why I want to do this, and be very authentic in this. Sometimes you have to sometimes you have to just think that what those reasons are, why I want to switch exactly. Is it only because I want a job? That's a poor reason that I want a job in this. There are certain reasons that inspire you to study well. For example, if I uh, if I mention that if a person has, let's say, a sick relative, and the sick relative is someone that the person loves so much, it can be one of the reasons which inspires a person to study medicine. People go in MBBS because of their relatives. because of their sick relatives or anyone for that cause. If we, as an example, if we discuss the case of Shaukat Khan Memorial Hospital, this was created because of a personal incident of the founder. So every one of you must have an original story. You have to link it with that. So that's why I mentioned a very generic word here, that relevant information. It could be an event, it could be an incident that happened to you, it could be your life story, it could be something that consistently happened throughout your life. It could shape anything, but it has to be authentic and it has to be believable. Then why are you going to choose specific host country? Let's say you're going to acquire education in the United States. Why are you interested in getting education from United States? Why not in Pakistan? I mean, Pakistan does have some excellent universities with great teaching staff. Why would anyone want to go to the United States? You should have reasons for it written in those. It is true that USA has like one of the best educational system in the world, but you have to think more than that. You have to be specific. Like, let's say you are pursuing a degree in electrical engineering. You should know about what the research departments in United States are doing in that department. Or let's say you are interested in marine biology. You should know whatever is happening in that country, what research is being conducted, and create a link with whatever you want to study and show them that why is it is like the best opportunity you're going to get. Sorry. The authenticity of your own story is extremely important. Don't just make stuff up. Don't make stuff up. This is the part where you need to think about things. आपको सोचना पड़ेगा. You need to think about things, that why something happened in my, what happened in my past that forced me to do this. I mean, even if your parents ask you to do something, ask you to study something, there must be a reason for it. And you would have a reason in your own mind why you're listening to those. So be authentic in those. Let me read the chat if there is something. Uh, okay. Our own medical illness can be a good reason. It can be a good reason, but uh, you need to justify that why United States and what you want to study about it and how it will benefit you, how it will benefit you, how it will benefit anyone around you. So you have to, you have the right reasons for it. You can mention it. Definitely, you can mention it. You can have the right reasons for it. Um, Avoid generic statements. Generic statements like "I just like helping people." This is not. This is not a very good, strong point. Insist that I like helping people. No, I mean, who would say that he does not like helping people? Everybody would. You have to personalize it. You have to personalize it to your own story, to your own past history. How is it related to that? Okay. What does your academic background have? What should your academic background have? Uh, this is this is like what you have already studied, what was your major was, what thing you have conducted your research on, what topic you have conducted your research on, what courses you have studied, what awards, scholarship, distinctions you have earned. Was there any thesis? What was the work on it? Any efforts you made to learn something on your own. There are times when we're not offered a specific course. Uh, like, let's say there's a person who studied MBBS, right? And medical doctors do not study mathematics. But there are times when they have to run some simulations. And in those simulations, you need to learn something with regards to math, with graphs, with charts. And it is possible that no degree or no university teaches someone about that. So a person can learn about that on his own, but he has to mention that I learned this from there, I got this skill from there, it wasn't told. So you can mention those as well if you have anything like that in your resume. Project management, leadership, team leading, all of these can be mentioned. And if there is a switch towards a different field, uh, you can justify it, but you have to have the right reasons for it. And challenges faced, that how, what challenges you faced and how you ever overcame those. Sometimes uh, what can be seen is that people believe that the more challenges that they had in their life, the better their uh, statement of purpose be. That's not the case. Sometimes it's not the magnitude of challenges that uh, that decides that if you can be selected or not. It is how, what you did in that scenario. Your challenge can be small, your challenge can be big as well, but it can be small as well. It's not the amount of, or the number of challenges or the magnitude of challenges that you faced. It's how you dealt with those. It shows your thought process. Let me give you an example about thought process. That when we share our thought process with someone, uh, it helps them understand our point of view. There was a When I was in the US, there was a simulation type thing that our teacher said that, can you uh, can you categorize corn, that if corn is a vegetable, or is it a fruit, or is it grass? So these three were the categories, and then she categorized us in different groups, and she asked us to convince each other. Like, some people went to the vegetable group, some people went into the fruit group, and some people went into the grass group, that it is a grass. Some said no, it is a vegetable, and some said it's a fruit. He said you have like 20 minutes, convince each other, and if you can convince even one person to switch sides, you'll be fine with it. What she wanted to show us was that nobody like changed their stance once they decided that they're going to be like corn is a vegetable. They stuck to their stance even if they were not sure. Like, if someone decided that corn is a fruit, they stuck to it. They didn't change it. The only exception to that rule was that if someone shared his thought process, that instead of justifying or arguing that why my selection is true, that person said that, I don't know if I'm right or wrong about it, but my thought process is that corn is a grass, because his family belonged to an agriculture, uh, like business of agriculture, and he said that whenever we grow grass, it has certain qualities like this, and corn resembles those. So that person shared his own perspective on that, his own thought process uh, with regards to corn, and that was the only person who managed to convince the other people to switch sides. And it did not happen in our class, it happened in the simulation prior to our classes. So what she was trying to show us was that it's the thought process. If we share our thought process, that why and how we thought about something, it is that thing that counts, instead of just saying that this is my end answer and I have my reasons for it. Okay, let's go in the chat. Your slides are not changing. Uh, Hold on. Where am
Zeeshan, could you exit the slideshow and then try to do it again?
I hold on. Let me do it. Let me try it.
Yeah.
Is it changing now or not?
Yes. Can you go back one slide? Okay, now it's working. Okay, so we weren't able to see any of the slides. Okay.
Ah, okay, that's okay. Okay, let me go over all the slides once again, if that's the case. Okay. This is about me. You have heard of all the words. I won't repeat that. Uh, I'll go through what is the statement of purpose once again. A statement of purpose is a short essay that explains who you are professionally, intellectually, academically, and what you want to do in future. And that is again linked to whatever you want to do in academics and why you want to do it. Like, what is your motivation behind it? And what I mentioned earlier was that this is the crux of your SOP. Like, why you want to do this? Because the other two parts, who you are, what you have done already, and what you want to do, those two parts have more objectivity around them. And this third part, why you want to do, is more subjective. So this is the part which distinguishes between a selected candidate and a non-selected candidate. You have to have the right reasons for it. And what all of this statement of purpose includes your academic background, your research, the courses you studied, the projects you worked on, your future plans, your motivation, why you and the target institute are a good fit. So these are the things which should be included in this. I want to give a disclaimer here that all of these things which I'm mentioning are my personal experience. These are not like an exhaustive list. Like, there are many ways to reach the same, uh, like to get selected in a university. There could be 100 ways to write a statement of purpose. This is the one way which helped me. I'm not saying that other 99s are wrong. 99 uh, paths or 99 ways to do it are wrong. I'm just saying that this is my perspective. So this is not an exhaustive list. These are just guidelines which helped me, which I'm transmitting to you. All right. Statement of purpose, once again, the crux of it, that what should the motivation for applying include? What inspired you to apply? It should be your relation to your current academic background. It should have a relation with them. If you're switching, then it should have the right reasons for it. You can explain the reasons. You can show the reasons, that these are the reasons, but those should be authentic, those should be believable, those should be original and genuine. You should not make stuff up, and it will be much more helpful to you. uh, any relevant information, any relevant background, any incident, any story that happened in your past, you can link it with that. Whatever shaped you, whatever shaped your academic journey, you can include it in that. But be careful that there is a difference between personal statement and statement of purpose. You have to be more academically inclined in this. What I'm trying to say is that you can include your personal touch in it, but that's just a part of it. Your reason should be academic. Your reason uh, should be linked to research or something like that. It should not be extremely personal. It can be personal. You can include that, but keep your focus mostly towards academics. Okay. Uh, Let me see the chat if there's any problem. Okay. I'm glad that it's working now. Okay. Then why you choose the specific host country? Your host country could be United States. Your host country could be uh, United Kingdom. Any place you want to go, uh, it should include the reasons that why you're choosing that. Does it have the best education system? Fine, if it does have those, but have the right reasons for it. And I'm sure that everybody would mention that this country has the best uh, institutions, but you need to think beyond that. What could be the right reasons? That if you want to go in, let's say, structural engineering, then you need to have a proper research on that. What institute is offering best courses or best research on structural engineering? Then you can include that in your statement of purpose. It should be an authentic story or authentic event. You can have a personal element to it. The more authentic it is, the better chances you have to qualify. But sometimes you need to think about it. All of it is in your head, all of it is in your subconscious mind. You just need to bring it to your conscious mind. So spend some time on it, I would say. No generic statements. Like, if you want to go to public policy and you say that I just like helping people, it is a weak statement. You need to link it with something. You need to have the right reasons for it. Okay. In your academic background, you will mention everything, like what your major was, what your research work was, what courses you studied, what awards or scholarships or distinctions you got, what was your thesis on, any efforts made to learn something on your own, uh, because sometimes we have to learn our own. A course is not offered to us like that, and we study and learn something on our own. Then project management, if you did any leadership, team leading, all of these are relevant things that you can mention. And if there is a switch towards a different field, you can mention those as well. And challenges you faced and how you overcame those challenges. Uh, one of the things about challenges you faced and overcame those. I have an example that I had two friends. It was basically an undergrad admission interview for two of my friends. One of them got in and one of them did not. Both of them were asked very absurd questions. One of them was asked that how many trees do you think are there in Lahore? The other one was asked that what is the length of the roads in Lahore, like total length of the roads. And the one who was asked the length of the roads, he said that's not the right question. How can I guess the length of the roads in Lahore? It's a very difficult question. I cannot give you an accurate number for it. The other person who was asked about the number of trees in Lahore, he said that, okay, we can uh, we can assume that Lahore's 1 square kilometer has like 150 trees. In 1 square kilometers, we have 150 trees. And if we just know the square kilometer area of Lahore, we can find the exact number of trees. So it was like the thinking process of two people which decided who was going into LUMS and who was not. One person basically avoided the answer, he did not answer. The other person, he could not get up to the right answer, but his thought process was right. He broke the problem into a smaller chunk and he showed that how it can be solved, even though that he was not successful at answering it like accurately. But he showed them that he can think about a problem and solve. This is what you should do, that whatever challenge you faced, you should basically describe how you overcame it, your thought process behind it. That is like an authentic thing to share. Okay. The third thing that you mention in your statement of purpose is the outcome of that specific education, like what you want to study and your motivation behind it. Your motivation has two parts in it. One part is like why you want to study it, and the other part is what benefit it is going to give you, the host country, your home country, general humanity or community, and how would you utilize these skills or knowledge or research, whatever you're going to get from them. Let's say a person in a person is interested in studying environment, let's say, and in case of environment, we have like a very solid reason in for Pakistan, that Pakistan uh, is going to face one of the most catastrophic climate change issues in the future, effects of climate change in the future. Like we are on the, I think we're in the top five most affected countries due to climate change. It is a very solid point that if I study this, I can apply it to Pakistan. And then the smog is also a problem in Lahore, in some other countries as well, other cities as well. So you need to find something like that, that whatever you're going to study, how it is going to benefit yourself, your country, your host country, or uh, anywhere else, wherever you want to utilize, and how would you utilize those skills. So these should be included in your statement of purpose. Now, personal statement is something which is relatively different from statement of purpose. Statement of purpose is like more academically inclined, while personal statement is your story of where you are now and why you're there. Let me just explain the differences between these two. uh, the leftmost column includes the aspect, the middle column includes the statement of purpose, and the rightmost includes the personal statements. The main question in statement of purpose is that why this program and what will you study? You need to answer this question. And the main question in personal statement is who are you and what shaped you? That who are you and what shaped you? What brought you here? Where you're standing currently? It's your life story. The tone in statement of purpose is professional and academic. The tone in personal statement is personal and reflective, that you are thinking in this. It has more of the thinking tone in it. The content you're going to have in statement of purpose is related to research interest, academic preparation. The content in personal statement is life experiences and character development. But what shaped you? In statement of purpose, you are presented as a researcher and a professional, while in personal statement, you're presented as someone who is a person who has a complete story and he wants to describe his own story. So these two statements differ like that. We come back to personal statement. This is your story of where you are right now and why you're there. What motivated you to study what you studied? Like in statement of purpose, you are just mentioning what you studied in your past and going towards why you want to study the next thing. But in personal statement, you are going to mention that what motivated you to study what you studied and what factors shaped your journey, why you went there. It has less about it has less as elements of the future and more elements of the past in it. Like it is telling them about your present situation and the reasons for it, the reasons and the factors behind this. You can link past incidents, general feelings, your thought process with regards to your field this. And so far, what impact you have been able to create. Like if you wanted to study something specific, like engineering, because of your interest in, let's say, gadgets or structures. So what have you done so far? After getting that information or during that study, if you're a fresh graduate, like what did you do after doing that? Or during your study, what projects you worked on? Like you have to mention those. This is your story and you need to explain these elements and link it. The last paragraph is about linking it with your future goals, that how it is going to help with your future goals, how it is going to help you with your future and the goals that you have set for yourself. This is the personal statement. My personal statement in one of the scholarships that I applied for, it included why I went to engineering. Like, what were the factors which impacted me or which motivated me to go into engineering? Once again, it is a past element because in future I'm not going to pursue engineering. It's a past element, but I'm mentioning it over here. Wait, let me just read chat if there's anything. Okay, just a minute. Can you see the slide right now? This the slide of SOP versus personal statement. Can you see it or not?
I can see it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll talk about it once again for those of you whose slide was not updated at that time. The main question in statement of purpose is that why this program? By this, I mean whatever program you're applying to and what you'll study there. The main question in personal statement is who are you and what shaped you? Like it is explaining your past background and what shaped you to come here. Using this program and what will you study in it? In terms of tone, in statement of purpose, your tone needs to be professional and academic. And in personal statement, it needs to be personal and reflective. In terms of content, statement of purpose includes research interests, academic preparation, and in personal statement, you need to have life experiences, character development. One thing I want to mention over here is that in statement of purpose, if something personal motivated you to study something, you can mention that it motivated me to study this. But then you will talk about that specific academic thing that you want to study and what are its implications and where you can study it and how it is linked and how it can help you with your future goals and what you'll do with this. But I mean, you can build a background with regards to that, but the main focus is going to be on the academic side of it, on the research aspect of it, that what you're going to study and how it is going to help. And you are presented as a researcher or a professional in statement of purpose, while in the personal statement, it's a complete story. It's your story. You're a person with a complete story. So these are the differences between personal statement and statement of purpose. So we move forward. I was talking about my personal statement, and it mentioned why I went into engineering. Why I went into engineering. What were the factors that led me there? In my case, uh, I would like to mention that in my case, my father used to have me do mental math. Like he would give me a question, okay, Zishan, what is 625 plus 349? Do it in your head. And he used to do it when I was like in grade 3 or 4. And I kept doing it for multiple years. We used to sit on the dinner table and used to do it. And this somehow made me very good at mental math. And this mental math thing and engineering and math are quite related to each other. And I also had a keen interest in electronics and gadgets. And I mentioned all of these things. These were the things which motivated me to go into engineering because I was comfortable with these. I wanted to know more about these. Then I worked. Why I worked for Lesco? There were also personal incidents with regards to that. I worked for Lesco because I had to go to a Lesco office multiple times, and my experience there was terrible. It was terrible. And honestly, at that time, I was disappointed. But I also had something in my heart that if I ever got the opportunity to be on the other side of things, I'll try to create a change. And that was like, if you're disappointed from somewhere, from a government office, you can either have this feeling or the other feeling is that I'll go abroad and just leave this country behind. These can only be the two thing that you can think at that time. And I was the one like, if I'm on the other side, I'll be good to people and try to help with them. So I worked for that institute, which had disappointed me. And then I switched careers. It also included a reason why I switched careers. It's about the magnitude. I talked about the magnitude of things. And in Lesco, I was working on only electricity related problems. Then when I went and did CSS, it was like something bigger, something with far better promotion aspects as well for myself and also for other people that I could create a bigger impact. The stage was bigger. And what impact did I create? Like whenever I mentioned the things that I did in Lesco, I mentioned the things that I did after passing CSS exam. So those two were combined. That I told them this impact I had created, and this is where I help. This is how I help the public as well. This is how the department as well. And these were like all the numbers that those were showing my uh, like my journey. And I then linked it with the future that I'm going into public policy. I want to go into public policy. Why I want to go into public policy? I mentioned it that right now I am doing things in a government office, but most of these are hit and trial. That I apply a policy and see if it works. If it doesn't work, I apply a different one. Shouldn't I get skills that would enable me to just have some evidence of it that this is going to work? One of the examples that I quoted, that I talk about it in study objective when I come to it. A personal statement needs to be about 4 to 6 paragraphs. There is no uh, like specific number of like you have to have these many paragraphs. It can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 6, but 4 to 6 is generally a good round number for it. You need to be, once again, you need to be authentic and you need to be original. Can't you should not create uh, things out of thin air. Every one of you has a story. You just need to think about it. Just think in your past what motivated you to study this. What were the impetus behind it? Let me read the chat once again. Um Generally, the word limit is mentioned wherever you're going to apply. Generally, it is mentioned that they give you a limit like 700 to 1000 words. Sometimes they say that keep it below 700 words or below 1000 words. Don't make it too long. Just be like 4 to 6 paragraphs of average length, like 7 8 sentences in each. So generally wherever you apply there is a word limit mentioned, but if it is not mentioned, I'll say that keep it to 700 to 1000 words, not more than that, if no limit is mentioned, but don't go beyond that. You will get those slides. Do you need to follow the same sequence? Look, uh, the sequence should be in a way that first paragraph should always be an introduction. It should be a chronological order. In personal statement, it should be a chronological. It should be in chronological order. By chronological order, like how the events happened, like why you went to some specific degree, then if you went to in some professional career, why you went there, and in the last paragraph, you're going to link it with your study objective. So this is how it is. And even in statement of purpose, because it is a little different from personal statement, you need to have introduction in the first paragraph, and then in the last paragraph you're going to like mention the impact. So yes, there is a sequence associated to it, and unless uh, the personal statement you write in a different order seems better, I would say go with the right order in it. Like go in the chronological order of a personal statement and go in the most natural sequence in statement of purpose. Um, and one thing I would mention is that don't write, like don't finalize your statement in one setting. Write it, then later on study it after like a couple of days, then read it after like a couple of days again. You will be much more much more ready to find the problems in your own statement, and you'll be like reading it like a third person. Then give it a few days. So wherever you're going to apply, don't leave this part to the very last. You need to have some time to review it, to study it, and I would say that uh, you can have someone else read it as well, and it can be helpful, even those people who might not have applied anywhere, because they can give you a perspective that how it is sounding. Does it sound too cliche? Does it sound too cheesy? Or is it like sounding authentic or not? So you can use that. Okay. The last paragraph, you're going to link it with your study objective. So yes. And what is a study objective? Study objective is once again uh, a short essay that is going to mention that, like, now this is going to be the future part. What is the objective of your study? Whatever you want to study. In statement of purpose, you mentioned this part, like mostly in statement of purpose, that I want to study this and this is the motivation behind it. This is going to help me like that. And in study objective, you're going to mention briefly your academic and professional background and your motivation for the program, and then specific learning goals, that what you want to study over there. And then what is the relevance of that, of your field or your country or the context, that whatever you're going to study, what is the relevance of it? And then your program specific fit, that how you are going to be a great fit for the program, and then future plans and application of knowledge with regards to that. So let me just read the chat. Is this material available anywhere so that we can read and study later on? This will be given to you, don't worry about it. um, okay. So if someone asks me that what is study objective, like tell me in two sentences, I would say to them that, listen, study objective is, you are going to tell them, I want to study this specific thing, and I believe I'm a great fit for this in this specific university for these reasons. And once I'm done studying there, I'll apply my knowledge to these things, and this is going to help me in these ways. So these are the things that you're going to mention over there. This is the study objective that you're going to mention over there. Like in my study objective, when I mentioned public policy, that I want to work on public policy, the reasons I quoted there were like related to uh, like whatever I was doing right now, that I was working for the government. We were deploying hit and trial methods. We were working on large data sets, and we did not have any skills to, extract the right information from that data, and to make the right policy, and to extract the right evidence from it, that how what policy is better for this, what policy we can use that will grant us the maximum, the optimal results. So I want to study public policy, with a focus on data analysis, with a focus on management. That will give me the skills, the tools to utilize the data, the amount of data I'm getting every day. And it will help me in generating better results. And instead of just using a hit and trial method, which has an economic cost associated with it, I'll be in a position to make better decisions. So this was what I was mentioning in my study objective, that firstly, I'm doing this, my current state, and what my motivation is for learning. My motivation is that I want to learn that how I can better utilize this data, how I can make the right policy for it. These are the learning goals that I've set for myself, that I'm going to become a better bureaucrat in Pakistan by this degree. And what is the relevance of it? And mention the relevance that if I study this, I'll be better, I'll be able to do a better job. The thing that I mentioned, that I'll quote you an example, that there were like 35,000 uh, people whose tax returns I had to check. I could not do that. Uh, I do not have the capacity to check 35,000 returns in a year. So what I could do instead was that focus on some selected cases which had the highest turnover, which were paying the highest amount of tax. But what the issue with this approach was that I could not find the cases which had the highest potential, even though the data was there, but just by visualizing I could not see it. I needed to have better skills that could extract the better data from it. So this is what I mentioned in my study objective, and how it was going to help and what difference it would create. Um, Study objective needs to have 4 to 5 paragraphs. Uh, Paragraph one is your introduction, like what is your current academic status, what is your field of study, or if you're a professional, what are you doing right now, and what is your primary objective for applying. Then second paragraph is going to be your background and motivation, like brief academic background and what motivated you to pursue that specific program you're applying for. Paragraph three is specific learning objectives, like concrete goals, what you want to learn, skills to develop, specific areas of focus. You need to mention those. And paragraph four, why this program specifically and how you'll apply the knowledge afterwards. So these are the things that you need to mention in your study objective. These are not like hard and fast rules. You have like some amount of wiggle room in that. You can you can create a document and see if it is addressing all of these problems or not. The order can be a little different. You can include your introduction and a little background in the first paragraph as well, but this is like more of a generic uh, thing that you can follow. It's like a safe bet, but you can change it a little bit, tweak a little bit. It will still be fine, but once again, give it more time. Don't just sit down and write it in 2 hours and you're like, I'm done with it. No, write it down, then again come back to it after a few hours, maybe a couple of days later, and then check that does it sound right to yourself or not. That it's your own gut that will tell you that it does not seem right, does not feel right. You need to work on your story, you need to work on your motivation behind it, and what you're going to study and how it is going to help you, and it should be authentic and realistic. If it is authentic, if it is realistic, then your chances of getting selected are a lot higher than other people. So yeah, this is all of it. Any questions you have, you can write it in chat, it's easier. Yes, all of these things definitely overlap. Study objective and SOP, there is an overlap in it, but SOP has something with your background in it as well. Do you have to share our intended programs and university names at the time of application? Um, I think you're mentioning Fulbright application. You don't have to. You have to mention your intended program, definitely, that what you want to study, but university names are not mandatory. For your Fulbright application, you're going to write personal statement. Okay, answer my question regarding justifying low GPA with work experience. Low GPA can be justified. It should not be extremely low. Like, you can justify a low GPA. You can have a bad semester. You can have a couple of bad semesters, but you need to have the right reasons for it. A person could be going through like any personal thing that impacted the GPA, or you could not be interested in some specific field of study, but then you'll be switching your field if your GPA is low. But you can justify it, but you need to have the right reasons for it. Okay. A huge gap of 10 long years can be justified. Definitely, it can be justified. I mean, all of us are not in the position to study all the time. Some of us have to support our family as well. And you can definitely justify. And sometimes we just get tired after getting our graduate degree. We're just like, okay, that's fine. No more studying. And then after we work, we just uh, get that spark again in our hearts. It can be just anything can be justified if it is authentic and if it is original. Just keep that in mind. Okay. GRE is mandatory at the time of application. Can it be waived based on academic and no GRE? I don't think GRE can be waived, but USEFP. You should read the questionnaire on that. I think it's the FAQ on that, frequently asked question. I think GRE is mandatory for it. You cannot avoid it. Do we need to submit three separate documents, personal statement, SOPs? No, one is the. I don't think that Fulbright application has an SOP in it. It has personal statement and study objective. There is no SOP in it. SOP is needed for is needed by some universities if you are applying directly to the university, and in some cases, once you are um, like in the selection process and Fulbright is applying on your behalf to the university, sometimes the university asks for an SOP, you will write it over there. Okay. I'm a healthcare field and did my educational credential evaluation, but not able to secure visa. Do you need to mention my planning to write exam and come back Pakistan? I'm sorry, I don't understand your question that you're planning to write exam and come back to Pakistan. Uh, I'm not sure what you are asking here. I'm sorry. Could someone from a team email address? We okay. Just keep in mind that there is actually basically a threshold for GRE as well that you have to get for Fulbright. Um, a safe GRE score, the higher the better. I would say that the higher GRE score you get, the better chances you have at any university. But keep in mind that the more uh, the more mathematics based your degree, the higher quantitative score you need. That if it is an engineering related degree, the higher score you need in uh, the quantitative section. The European visa rejection can be justified. Work visa rejection. I, I just don't understand how you're going to mention in this in your academic profile that visa was rejected. Uh, you can apply for a second PhD, but you need to have the right reasons for it. Like, what impact have you created after the first PhD? Why are you pursuing a second PhD? Like, PhD is like a huge, like the highest degree one can get. And after that, instead of serving in the field and helping people or doing some research, you're going for a second one. You need to justify it. Uh, like switching from work visa to study visa. I'm not sure about it. Uh, all the fields there, those are mentioned in the frequently asked questions. And Once you start the application, there is a drop down menu list, I think, of all the fields you can apply, and you can check if English literature is there or not. Um, in case of Fulbright, you do not apply separately to universities. In case of Fulbright, Fulbright generally itself applies to the universities on your behalf if you are selected. But sometimes universities ask for your writing sample or something like that. Then Fulbright asks you to write those. Have I skipped any questions? Serious personal trauma. Look, anything can be, you can mention anything, but it has to be justified. You can't have superficial reasons. एक आम आदमी को पढ़ के अगर लगेगा कि ये ठीक है, then it's fine. Study shack. My background is FSC, BA, MA English, 52% B.Ed. Um, look, I'll be very frank here. I'm not sure that uh, like I cannot guarantee you that you're going to be selected or not selected either way. I can neither confirm nor deny this. You should apply. You should write all the right reasons, whatever, and hope for the best. I mean, just don't give up because your grades are poor. Fulbright does include people who have, like, in past a little, not like average performance in studies, but they can justify it somehow through their work or experience or something like that. Kiran, I'm not sure about that. That if you can't get a good score and you can justify it on that basis. Look, what I had studied for what it's a very subjective thing that what resources are good for GRE preparation. The idea is this, that you need to look at the past papers, that whatever was in past papers, and you need to study for it. It can be from anywhere. It can be from a book. It can be from an application. You need to find like the right application or the right book for it. But it can be from anywhere. And one thing I want to mention is that everyone has like different experience in this. So because I am an engineer, I am relatively good at maths. So I did not have much problem with maths. But for everyone, it's a different story. Some people have difficulty with mathematics. So I cannot recommend like a resource which will be helpful to all. Look, once again, I'll reiterate that you can apply and you have to justify everything. That if you have done an MPhil in 2019, why are you not going for a PhD, but rather going for a master's again? And if it is in a different field or in the same field, you have to justify it. You can do it. If you are able to convince the panelists that you should be included, then you would be included. That's your story. You need to convince them why you should be hired. Have confidence in yourself. Every one of you have confidence in yourself that you are the right person. You're the most fit person for it. You need to believe it first yourself. Then you will be able to convince others. If you have doubts about yourself, then how will you be able to convince others? If you have low grades, self-funding, then uh, you can apply it directly to the universities if you have self-funding. And if the university selects you, then definitely you can go for it. It doesn't matter if the person who is writing your recommendation letter is working in the same organization anymore or not. Just that the time during which you work together, he needs to mention that. It doesn't matter where he is right now. He can be like in a different country as well. There's no issue with that. Should we be addressing low GPA, lack of work experience in our Fulbright essays? Is that necessary to talk about? Would we address them in personal statement then? Look, Fulbright essays are personal statement and study objectives. Obviously, you'll be talking about those in personal statements, but you need to have the right reasons for it. Once again, I'll mention that what is your story? And you need to convince you. Firstly, you should be convinced yourself that you are the right person for it. You should be given any scholarship or you should be selected by any university. If you're convinced yourself, then you'll be in a better position to convince others that yes, you should be hired or you should be selected for any scholarship. The university should be hiring you. The university should be selecting you. Barron's Essential Words is a good resource for English. Yes. Yeah. I'll share my email. You can email me definitely. I'm an architect and want to apply for masters in the field of design, but not specifically architecture. I'm not sure if I should mention something in the favor or against in the SOP. Uh, Making money because of increasing construction cost, incorporating. I think you should get more information about it, and you should be certain about like architecture and what field you want to study. And money should not be the only thing you need to talk about. You should have more reasons for it. Like if your only goal is money, then uh, why not go into some other field which only has money in it? Why not go for an MBA if money is the only concern? You must have right reasons for studying architecture. I don't think there'll be anything mentioned in the personal statement that your work visa for Poland was rejected, unless you have like a very solid reason for mentioning it. Otherwise, you don't need to mention anything like that that your work visa was rejected. Okay, let me type my email ID. I don't know. You can email USEFP as well for getting any information, and I would urge you that USEFP is the right resource for it. All of the things that I've mentioned here are my personal experience. I'm not like it's not like an exhaustive list of whatever I've mentioned. I've shared my email if you want to ask anything later. For reference letter, you need to have one person who is like your who has remained your teacher in the past with it linked with academics, and I believe two people. Uh, uh, Actually, I don't remember the order. It's two people who have you have either worked in or you studied under. So You can have one person for sure you have worked with, but I'm not sure if you can have two or one. So you have to, you please visit the website for it, the USCFP website. That's a better resource for it. But one person is allowed you are working with. You need to have three letters. I'm not sure about the exact number. If I apply in time and submit the GRE result later, is it possible? Look, you have to sit in the GRE exam before the Fulbright application deadline. Its result can come later as well, but you have to sit in the exam before that. If I do not have continuous study gap, it is 2 to 5 years after each 2 years of education. Is it exact? Look, once again, I'll mention that you need to justify it. You can have gap in your study, but why was there a gap? You need to tell the reasons. You need to justify the reasons. You need to be very certain about the proposed field of study, that what you want to study and why you want to study it. If you mention a lot of fields, I don't think that they'll be considering you a serious candidate. I'll ask USEFP to share my email address as well. Um, if you're selected, I think USEFP will pay for your TOEFL exam, and I don't think I'm not sure about GMAT. You need to contact USEFP for that. I'm not sure about it. I'm sorry. I'll ask USEFP to share my email address with all of you, if it is like fine with them. Any other questions? What weightage they give to personal statement, other activities, GRE grades? I think it's a subjective matter, and I don't think I'm in the right position to answer it. This session was only related to how to write it, and I don't think that I'm sure about the percentage associated with it. But they do matter. I would say that. GRE minimum verbal and quantitative parts minimum score. These are mentioned on the FAQ on USCFP website. And if you're applying directly to some university, then that university can guide you better. You can read the documentation of that university on its website. Well, at this point in time, you should not worry about the visa officer, because at this point in time, your concern should be getting and securing the scholarship, whatever you're applying in, and securing the admission in university wherever you're applying. And the visa application part comes later. And trust me, it's not like a huge like discussion with them. It's like a momentary decision they make. And I would say don't worry about it right now. If you ever get selected for a Fulbright, you'll have high chances of going to the United States. Then state the right reasons for it. It's an off-topic question, but I would answer that. Just state the authentic and right reasons for it. Like nobody, like it's not mandatory for everyone to have continuous study. You can study after the gap as well. Like I don't think it's a big problem. If I apply to MS now and a Fulbright scholarship is announced, implemented in 2027, will I get tuition fee for 2026 also or only 2027? Look, if you apply to a Fulbright program, you'll be selected for only that program, not any waiver for any other program that you're currently going through. That's what I think. But USEFP can guide you better. I think they had started to accept Duolingo in place of TOEFL, but once again, USEFP is the better resource to confirm it. You can email them or call them. From what I had heard, that they were accepting Duolingo in place of TOEFL, but I'm not certain about it. So I think in order to make sure, you need to contact USEFP. I think it is the threshold of GRE for Fulbright is mentioned on the website. Go to the website, go to the frequently asked questions of Fulbright. It's mentioned over there. I'm urging you to go there because I don't remember it on the top of my head right now. And you'll there are a lot of other questions. I think it is helpful to go through for all of you. It is helpful to go through all of those frequently asked questions. Many of your queries will be answered. Answer, that's a very, I think it's a very subjective thing to ask. If you have worked with that person for 5 years, there is no need for him to mention that you are related to each other in some way. He can definitely write you a recommendation letter based on his, in his professional capacity. Definitely, he can do that. There is no, like, it is not mandatory for him to write that he's also your father-in-law. Yeah, a 5-year experience boss is much better than a 2 week short internship. But one thing I would like to mention in reference letters, please mention, uh, please avoid being generic. That's what I would say. That instead of having someone write that he's very hardworking, it's better to mention the projects you have worked on and what your input was on those. So whoever is writing your reference letters, please ask them to be specific and mention the projects, the things that you worked on, and what was your input and what was their take on it. It gives a better impression rather than having a generic one. I'm sorry, Muntazir, I don't know if you have asked any question. I can only see a dot. Muntazir, we have talked about statement of purpose, personal statement, and study objective. And I've mentioned how to write it, what elements does it include, what to avoid, and what questions to answer, and how a statement of purpose is different from personal statement, and what your study objective needs to have in it. I think anything you do teaches you something. So just figure out that how your medical representative experience helped you in becoming who you are right now. I am 100% certain that it helped you in becoming who you are right now. It mattered. So you have to figure out how it mattered, and if it is relevant thing to mention or not, that's your own decision. You can be the judge of that. Look, a Fulbright SOP is different from university SOP. In Fulbright, you don't write an SOP. In Fulbright, you write a personal statement and study objective. And a university SOP is like different what I have mentioned. So if Fulbright had an SOP, if it had one, then it would have been the same as the university one. But with one change, could be one change, that in university you have to write about that specific university, how it is the best fit for you. But in Fulbright, you would be mentioning Fulbright or some specific universities. I'll ask USEFP to share my email. So if you have any queries, you can ask me later as well, if they allow sharing it. Noor, I think USCFP is a better resource because frankly, I have forgotten mine, that how much time it took. But like there is a after like submitting your application, um, there is a time after which if you're selected, your interview is conducted, and after that, uh, your final letter is given to you. You can mention, you can follow the, I think, USCFP social media. I think it will be uploaded there. You can also email them and they'll mention the source where it is going to be uploaded. Um, okay, I'm going to answer the question once again regarding the reference letter from a family member. Look, if the family member you mentioned is your boss and that boss has worked with you for the past 5 years, I would say that don't mention the relation with that boss. Let him like write the reference letter in purely professional capacity, not like as a relative. You can have it from him, but purely in terms of professional role. Uh, Malika, I'm not sure if you can apply for both PhD and masters at the same time. I think you can apply for one, but I think USEFP is a better resource to answer that. But in my personal opinion, I think it is only one. But uh, USEFP is the right resource to get that answer. What if the GPA is struggling? Then what should we do? And do we not have to pay a single penny? If your GPA is low, you should be able to justify it. Like GPA is not the only credential which shows how competent you are. I would say there are other aspects in your life which show how competent a person is. So you need to figure that out, that what shows your competence and why are you eligible for a scholarship. Other two required assets for Fulbright mean the personal statement. In Fulbright, you have personal statement and study objectives. Noor Mohammed, you need to justify it. That how having only a cousin in United States motivated you to study. You need to justify it, and like you need to apply your own thinking to it. Like, is it justified that only because your cousin is in US you want to study? I'm sure there must be other reasons. Your personal statement is based on a criminal case which you had faced. If it impacted you, and if it shaped your story, then you can mention it. But just go through it after writing it, that if it is giving the right impact, the right image you want to portray, just be a little careful with that. Otherwise you can mention anything. Whatever shaped you, be authentic, be genuine. uh, but there is an art of storytelling that you need to be good at telling it. And I would suggest that asks someone to read it, and ask him what image it is giving, like what he is getting out of your personal statement after you write it. You'll get a good feedback. And ask someone, someone who is a reasonable person. We still have a couple of minutes left if anyone wants to ask any question. Uh, one thing, uh, One thing I want to mention here is that please don't use Chat GPT or Claude or Gemini for writing your statements. Uh, a statement written from these AI tools is like very easy to recognize. Very easy to recognize. It is written from that. Be authentic in it. Don't use those. Yes, Fulbright does allow to take your dependents with you. You can use them for improved grammar and sentence structure, sure, but just be careful. They're easy to pick. They are like very easily recognizable. You can improve your grammar through that. That's fine, but uh, don't let it change your whole narrative or story. Please email USEFP with regards to it. That you'll get email, and they had told me that they'll upload it on their social media. I think they have a Facebook page, USEFP Pakistan, and I believe that you'll get some information with regards to that. If you don't, then please email USEFP. Uh, you'll get details about it. Well, if you got a need-based scholarship, I think you shouldn't mention that you got a need-based scholarship. It can be a scholarship. If it was a competitive process and you got it because of your own competence, then just let it be a scholarship, not a need-based one. That's my personal opinion. I think our time is up. If anyone has a question, please ask it quickly. Otherwise, we'll end the session here. Okay, I'm going through the QAs and right now I'm a chartered accountant having audit and assurance background. I'm willing to choose MS in business analytics, sustainability management. My question is that can two fields in SOP and justify both of them? Only pick one instead of going for both. Could you please elaborate how to explain low GPA? I've already answered it. You need to justify it, that why you got a low GPA. Kiran, I think I've answered you before. Can we get the, yes, you can get the presentation. Please email USEFP, you'll get the presentation. Yes, in PhD statement of purpose, you have to mention your research of like whatever you're going to research on. So it's more research focused. Does Fulbright allow single? Yes, Fulbright does allow to take your dependents with you. Should we be addressing GPA's lack of work experience in our Fulbright essays? It's necessary to talk. If it is something that shaped your journey, you should mention it. You should mention it. Should we be addressing low? Yes, I've already answered it. Is GRE score necessary at the time of application? You should have sat in the GRE exam by that time. The result can come later. An average GPA can be justified, but you need to have the right reasons for it. You should be the one who needs to be convinced that you should be hired. Only then the other people will be, interested in you. You need to mention only one field. Yes, you can't. I don't think you mentioned. You can mention more than one. I think all there is a static on the mandatory fields and the non-mandatory one. USCFP is a better resource to answer. Just answer the short questions in the start. Answer it those truthfully. I think that the essays are the main ones which have the higher weightage. How is Fulbright SOP different from university SOP? I have answered this already. Can you please repeat my answer to the question regarding getting a reference letter from family? I have answered this. Are two required essays mean the personal statement? Personal statement and study objective are the two required essays. What is a bit of a short on? I have already answered it. So I think question answers are done here. Yeah, I think we're done. And let me see if there are any more questions in the chat. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is all. Thank you for joining me. I'll ask USCFP to share my email and this presentation with you. Thank you.